Have you ever noticed how quickly a room goes quiet when you walk in? Or how a group's laughter suddenly feels like it's at your expense? It's not paranoia. It's one of the most brutal manipulation tactics in human history, designed to break your mind from the inside out. In the next 4 hours, we are going deep into the darkest corners of human behavior, peeling back the layers of psychological warfare that people use every single day to control you. But we aren't just uncovering these tactics to leave you defenseless. By understanding the mechanics of high-level manipulation, you will learn how to spot it, how to shield your mind, and ultimately how to transform this knowledge into absolute psychological resilience. This is the ultimate masterclass in educational psychology, self-protection, and human transformation. Let's begin with the devastating weapon of social exclusion. Human beings are biologically wired to belong to a tribe because, thousands of years ago, isolation meant death. Sophisticated manipulators exploit this primal fear by engineering subtle, unspoken boycotts. They will conveniently forget to invite you to key gatherings, use inside jokes to make you feel like an outsider, or employ cold body language to signal that you don't belong. When you use this on others to study behavioral boundaries, you orchestrate a silent vacuum around the target, withholding validation and social contact. To execute this deeply, you don't aggressively push someone out. Instead, you master the art of the soft fade. You stop responding to their emotional cues, lower your vocal tone when they speak, and create a subtle consensus among a group to look past them. The target's brain processes this exact social rejection in the anterior cingulate cortex, the very same region that registers physical pain. They will eventually agonize over what they did wrong, making them desperate to comply just to be let back into the warmth of the group. Once a target is socially isolated, the manipulator deploys the second phase, spreading rumors. This isn't basic schoolyard gossip. This is tactical character liquidation. In educational psychology, we analyze this as the illusory truth effect, a phenomenon where the human brain confuses familiarity with truth. If a lie is repeated often enough, people inherently begin to believe it. To utilize this strategy with maximum psychological impact, you never spread a massive, unbelievable lie. Instead, you plant a tiny, highly plausible seed of doubt that aligns with a person's existing vulnerabilities. You drop ambiguous, concerned hints like, "I hope they are doing okay, I've heard some worrying things about their reliability lately." By framing the rumor as genuine worry, you bypass the listener's critical filters. The rumor spreads organically, destroying the target's reputation and leaving them with no foundation to stand on, forcing them to turn to the only person who seems to still defend them, you. When the target's reputation is compromised, they are funneled into the trap of forced choices, a masterclass in behavioral restriction known as the false dilemma. The manipulator creates an artificial scarcity of options, making the target believe they only have two paths forward, both of which serve the manipulator's agenda. To apply this deeply, you eliminate the gray area of a situation. You present a scenario where the target must choose between an option that is overtly terrible for them, or an option that seems slightly better but completely surrenders their autonomy to you. You phrase it deliberately. You can either stay in this failing project and take all the blame, or you can hand over the leadership to me and let me fix it. By controlling the perceived boundaries of reality, you prevent the target from realizing that there is actually a third, fourth, or fifth option available to them. The trap tightens even further when the manipulator begins using secrets against you. Information is the ultimate currency in dark psychology, and emotional predators are expert collectors. During the early stages of a relationship, they use a technique called forced intimacy, sharing fake vulnerabilities to trick you into revealing your deepest insecurities, past traumas, or hidden mistakes. To utilize this tactical leverage, you wait for the exact moment the target attempts to assert independence or defy your boundaries. You don't explicitly threaten them with blackmail, that is sloppy and obvious. Instead, you gently weave their secret into a casual conversation as a hypothetical warning. You say something like, "It would be such a shame if the team found out about how things handled at your last job, especially now that you're trying so hard to build a new image." This psychological anchor triggers immediate panic, forcing the target back into submission to protect their hidden shame. To ensure the target never catches on to this systemic control, the manipulator relies heavily on the illusion of pretending agreement. This is a covert mirroring tactic designed to disarm the target's natural defenses. The manipulator pretends to share your values, agree with your grievances, and validate your anger, acting as your ultimate ally. To deeply implement this, you become a psychological chameleon. When the target expresses an opinion, you do not challenge it. You enthusiastically echo it, amplifying their emotions. By constantly nodding along and saying, "I completely agree, you're the only one who sees the truth here," you induce a state of cognitive ease. The target lowers their guard entirely because the human brain inherently trusts people who validate its worldview. Once that absolute trust is established, you can subtly redirect their behavior, planting thoughts in their mind that they will mistakenly believe were their own original ideas. Now that we have deeply deconstructed these 5 toxic mechanisms from an educational standpoint, we must pivot toward human transformation and self-protection. True mental improvement doesn't come from weaponizing these flaws to destroy others. It comes from understanding the blueprints of psychological warfare so you can become entirely unmanipulable. When you recognize social exclusion, you don't beg for entry, you build your own foundational self-worth. When rumors swirl, you rely on undeniable, consistent actions that shatter the illusion of the lie. When faced with forced choices, you step outside the frame and demand the unmentioned alternatives. When secrets are used as leverage, you strip away their power through radical self-acceptance, and when someone constantly agrees with you, you maintain a sharp, critical mind to evaluate their true motives. This deep dive into behavioral analysis proves that the human mind is either a fortress you command, or a playground for someone else. By mastering the mechanics of dark psychology, you have just elevated your awareness from a helpless passenger to an enlightened observer of human nature. Use this knowledge not to manipulate the weak, but to safeguard your sanity, foster genuine self-growth, and build an unbreakable psychological shield. Remember, the ultimate power isn't controlling others. It's mastering yourself so completely that no one else can. Turn your vulnerabilities into your greatest armor, because the moment you see the strings, the puppet show is officially over.